All right, everybody. We got it figured out. Kind of. Take two. All right, we got it all figured out. We're going to go live here right now. We'll be starting any second.
Yep.
Cleveland! This is for you! Talking about balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I am Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price and Tim Buck2. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Good. I'm trying to figure out how close I can sit next to you with these mics.
Sorry, I like the feedback. It keeps everybody awake out there.
And
Anyway.
Yep.
There we go. All right. First time using these mics at a live remote, and it's an experience. It's an experiment. We're learning on the fly. All right, let's get right into it. We had some technical difficulties, obviously, so we're starting a little late. We're going to quickly get into things, try to wrap things up around 8-ish, as promised. But really quickly, how are you guys? Tim, Kyle?
Good, man. Good to be here. What's our third time being here at Lucy's right now? So it's good.
Yeah, this is Lucy's part 3. Oh, there we go. This is usually when the franchises end after 3 movies, except for John Wick.
I'm messing with the mic. I'm trying to get
It's all right. Just trying to lose the feedback.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, we'll work through it. So let's get right into it. We, of course, are brought to you officially by the app BetStamp. If you guys have it, download the app BETSTAMP. Use code BALLS. It is free. You do not have to put any bank account information, anything like that. It's simply the Trivago of sports betting apps. You go on there, it's going to tell you where you can find the best odds. It's going to show you all the apps. Now that they opened up in Ohio, there are 100 apps you can use to gamble. I know I use almost all of them, and they will tell you where to go to get the best odds. So again, that's BetStamp. Use code BALLS. That is tremendous for us. We're getting paid by them, so this is a paid advertisement. Do not take our bets as gospel. We are not professionals. It is
We're close,
strictly for
kind
fun.
of.
We do make pretty good money on it because we kind of know a thing or two. So without further ado, let's do our bets for the night. Games are already about to kick off here at about 7:30, so let's do them right now. My pick for the night, I am doing a 3-game parlay, straight money line, and I am going with the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Atlanta Hawks. If you parlay all 3 of those teams in a money line, it's minus 104, which is almost even. And almost even means when you bet your money, you're going to double it. So $25 will win you $49.03 if you use DraftKings. That's where I decided to go with. So if you're a gambler, go to DraftKings. Again, that's Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and minus 104 will win you $50 if you bet 25.
Awesome.
What are your picks?
That's pretty good. I mean, I went with the rebound bets tonight. So I went with some pretty easy bets that I would hope should hit. Right now, I paired four bets to make a parlay. So I've got Andrew Newhard from the Knicks. Is this kind of working? We're off and on here.
He's from the Pacers.
Sorry, Pacers. Fred VanVleet from the Raptors. We've got Zach LaVine from the Bulls, and we've got CJ McCollum from the Pelicans. So right now they're basically all minus 125, 140, 165 paired together. It gets you to plus 749. I'm betting 50 with the potential of winning $424. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that is I'd have to look up all those stats. So what I do when I gamble, I will look up what a player averages.
Right.
So for you to do over unders, I would have to look at what that guy averages on any given day. And if he averages like 2 assists and they have him at 2.5, I would not touch that. But that's just me because I try to be as smart as possible.
So as long as all of them have at least 4 rebounds, then I win.
Oh yeah. No, you're in good shape. It's
so we'll see.
They got to crash the board. Some of these teams, the other thing too, you got to look out for. A lot of these teams are going on back-to-backs. So that's one thing you got to pay attention to because I've learned that the hard way when it comes to gambling. You pick a team, you bet on them to win, to do whatever, and you realize those guys are going to play like shit. Right. They're going to be tired. they're going to probably come off the floor in like the third quarter and not play for the rest of the game. So it hurts you on your stats on back-to-backs. Little things I've learned this year. I think the 2023-2024 season of the NBA, I think I'm going to win a good amount of money. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been pretty well so far. I've been betting baseball since the season started, and I have pretty good records of win.
I've had
loss.
bad luck with baseball so far.
I've had okay. I mean, I've hit 3 times on the score run in the first inning.
Okay, that's a good bet.
It's been pretty successful so far, but I also made another bet. I made another 3-leg parlay bet. I was just money line picks.
Okay.
I took the Knicks, I took the Celtics, and I took the Bucks.
Okay.
So they're all favorite teams. Together combines to a plus 302. Bet 50, win 201. So we'll see what happens.
Chipper says he is betting on Kyle to defeat the one chip challenge again. He wants you to go again.
Who said what?
Chipper wants you to do the one chip challenge. Chipper, we kind of want you. Now hear me out. We want you to come on talking about balls. Do the one chip challenge. No pregame milk. No pregame dinner. Nothing. Stick it to Dave, because I'm not going to lie. When I first got here, Dave was calling you out. You're being known as Chip the Cheater. You officially have a nickname. You have a reputation, and it's not a good one. It's infamous. So you need to come on our show, do the one chip challenge, clean as a whistle, nothing else, nothing in your system, no performance enhancing milk.
I will do it for monetary purposes.
I wouldn't do it if you paid me.
So
If you hung my mother over a cliff and you said, you eat this hot chip or we're dropping her, see ya. You can let her go.
I feel like you do that for free, though.
I would too. I do it for like chicken nuggets. There's nothing.
Chicken nuggies. So
Just
no, honestly,
anything.
I'll go one-on-one against Chipper for money, though.
Ooh.
$100.
Okay. Chipper, you heard the man.
I'll take-
$100.
I'll take some chicken nuggets.
Who doesn't? We'll take their $100. We'll use some of it to get us chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
We'll just be spectators, because there's no way in hell I would eat that. No chance. Kyle looked like he was going to cry. He turned red. It was not a good experience.
My insides cried a little bit.
Chipper did the same thing, and my favorite part was watching Chip on Saturday when he ate it, and every 2 seconds
The
he looked like
blowfish?
he was like. So he's trying to do a live show, and
Yeah,
every
I mean,
2 seconds he had to
it's
use
honestly,
a puffer
if you
fish.
get past the first 10, 15 minutes, you're fine. So we'll see what happens. But I'm all for it, Chip. We'll go for it.
I will never know, nor
And
do I
Chipper
want to.
is officially down with that bet.
Ooh, so what exactly is the challenge? $100.
$100 straight up, 1v1. Whoever lasts the longest. But the thing is, we've both successfully gone
True,
two
very
hours without eating or drinking anything. So I don't know. I mean, what do we put the limit on here?
It's almost like you're going to have to eat multiple chips.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do multiple chips.
I think that's the only way you guys can do it, because you guys have both done the same challenge. So now we have to take it to the next level. Maybe,
We do a shot of Frank's hot sauce and then we eat a chip.
Well, maybe
yeah, or a chip and a half.
a chip and a half. I mean, does it get hotter with the more?
I don't
chips
think
you
so.
eat?
Actually,
I-
that's a
honestly, I
good
don't
point.
think
It's the
so.
same Scoville unit. It's gonna suck a little bit longer, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm down for it. $100. If I lose, I lose. Is what it is. But still, that would suck.
We'll figure it out. But
I'm
yeah,
down. We'll do it on our show. We'll do it on our show.
I can't wait to watch, because I have no interest in ever eating a hot chip. You're on
betting-
your own for that,
The
100%.
betting odds are opening at minus 100 for Kyle right now.
Okay, you're the favorite.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because Chipper has the reputation of being a cheater, so that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
so it's on record he cheated. So officially, you are not the favorite. Sorry, buddy.
All right, we are going to get into sports talk, because that's what we do. But we got to start off with our advertisements, because they pay the bills. So we gotta obviously cater to them. The hot news around the NFL right now, we're approaching draft season. What we're going to do in a couple of weeks, I leave the 26th, which is Wednesday, which we would normally record. I'll be gone, so we're not going to have an episode that night. So what we're going to do, we're going to double record on the 19th. We're going to do 2 episodes.
That's how committed we
Second
are.
one, yeah, we love our fans. That's what we do. The second episode will not be shown live. It'll be pre-recorded, put in the can, and played on the 26th. And that's going to be our draft special. We're going to do our mock draft. Kyle and I go back and forth. We each do a full 32 pick first round mock draft, which this year will be 31.
This will be our 4th year, 5th year doing that, by the way.
Yeah, it's always a fun thing to do. I mean, the draft is so crazy and chaotic that we're never accurate. That's the fun part about it too.
We do get some correct though. I mean,
We know a little bit.
it's better. It's more fun when you get the late round, first round picks correct. You're like, oh shit, he fell to him. They're taking him. Boom, got it correct.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
The first 4 or 5 picks are pretty much
technically,
gimmies.
I think you had in your mock a few years ago, you had Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah going to the Browns at like 26
Yes.
or whatever we picked.
Yeah, that was a draft that happened in Cleveland.
And then, and that was the same year. And then we ended up
Thanks, man.
taking him in the second round. So kind of cool. I mean, you were close. I'm not giving you the full point
No,
at all
that's all
by
right.
any
I'll
stretch.
take the
I
half
mean,
point at least.
I'm not giving you half point either. It's still wrong.
I'm excited we got
Still
him. though.
wrong.
I'm excited we got him though, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's a good pick. But yeah, so what we're going to do on the 19th, we're going to do a double episode. We'll do our normal episode from 7 to 9. Then we're going to stay a little bit extra. We're going to do our mock draft episode, and that will air on the 26th. So if you guys give a single shit about our mock draft, that'll be airing on the 26th.
Just one single shit.
One shit.
So hot
but
news.
one team that could potentially be making some trades on draft night, the Baltimore Ravens. The hot rumor right now is the Ravens are looking to, obviously, that Lamar Jackson wants out. The rumor I'm seeing, strictly a rumor, who knows what kind of validity there is behind it. The Colts. Colts are interested. The Colts currently hold the 4th overall pick. That could obviously be huge in a trade package. You trade that plus some extra picks to get Lamar Jackson. Then they're going to have to give him this guaranteed contract, which, of course, the NFL blames the Browns for Lamar Jackson not getting his contract because they paid Deshaun Watson. I look at it as, fuck all those other teams. Your owners are billionaires. I'm sorry they can't foot the bill and pay a guy guaranteed money. That's not our problem.
Here's the thing. I think it's weighing heavy on the Ravens management mind right now is the fact that let's be honest. Lamar is a walking potential injury every game.
I wouldn't even say potential. He is an injury.
Right,
He gets
so
hurt every year. It's a guarantee.
His style of play, if he were to change his style of play and just be a drop back quarterback and attempt to throw the ball, I think he'd have a contract by now. I think they would have given it to him easily because he's an MVP. But his style of play, as we've seen in the past with other quarterbacks, it's not meant to last forever.
No.
And they think and they probably assume they can't invest this money into him because in a year from now, he's probably going to have a broken knee, a torn ACL, a torn Achilles or something. And they don't want to invest a house in somebody that they can't trust.
They made the playoffs last year, and Lamar Jackson did not return.
Correct.
So that goes to show me that, don't get me wrong, Harbaugh's a good coach, not discrediting him. I think Tyler Huntley is not a very good quarterback.
No.
But he was able to get that team into the playoffs one way or the other. So it shows that maybe Lamar Jackson, albeit very good, MVP. I don't agree with the MVP that he won. But it shows me that they can have success without Lamar Jackson. There is a future with that team, with that coaching staff. So they should move on if they're smart. If you can get the 4th overall pick in this year's draft, you can get a franchise-changing player. I don't personally like
though because I
don't
think
personally
by the
like
4th
any of the
pick,
quarterbacks.
those top 3 quarterbacks would be gone.
And I don't like it. I only like one. I like CJ Stroud, and that's not me being an Ohio State honk because as everyone can attest, I like Ohio State, but I don't really care about Ohio State. I'm not a diehard. I just personally think CJ Stroud is the best quarterback in this draft. I also think the Panthers traded up to number 1 to specifically take CJ Stroud.
I think that's locked. I think he's going
so
there.
With that being said, you have number 1. We won't do the full mock or anything, but you have CJ Stroud probably going 1. Number 2, Houston Texans. Do they need a quarterback? Do they go with the short Bryce Young?
They're going to have to.
Or, they don't have to. They could take a nice defensive player and say, screw it, we'll go quarterback next year in a better class.
I think they're going with him there. But here's back to Jackson real quick. They also lost their offensive coordinator too.
Yeah,
this is the guy that
probably a good thing.
Well,
I don't think
get it, but
I don't think Lamar Jackson wanted him there anyway.
But he also helped benefit Lamar too, and kind of catering to who Lamar is as a quarterback and some of the plays he drew up, which is basically just step back 3 steps and run the ball if you have to.
Yeah,
because they never protected him either.
No, their offensive line was always questionable. They had a lot of injuries at running back, and their wide receiver core has been just abysmal.
Yeah,
they have tried really hard to draft guys. They drafted Rashad Bateman. They drafted Marquise Hollywood Brown. They've brought in some people, some first-round picks, and it's just it hasn't worked.
No, and the icing on the cake was the Watson contract.
Yeah, I love it.
The fact that the Browns are so far ahead in the Watson contract, it really put everyone else in the NFL on kind of notice. And so now you have Jackson. I believe you're going to have the same issue with Burrow in a year or so.
Well, the problem with Burrow is the owner of the Bengals. He doesn't have that kind of money.
Well, that's why they named out their stadium.
Yeah, they had to sell the rights to the stadium to get a little extra income because they cannot afford to give a guaranteed contract.
And that's also why they're trying to cut labor costs, union costs. They're trying to cut they're making players pay for Wi-Fi.
When the NFL Players Association that's true. When the NFL Players Association did a poll on teams and what they do in the locker room, the Bengals had a very bad reputation as a team that makes players pay for Wi-Fi.
It reminds me
they don't have outlets in their locker rooms. They can't even charge in their lockers. They can't even charge their phones.
It reminds me of Major League Indians.
It is
when they had
100%.
They come out and they see the plane. It's like, oh, this is the jet. No, it's this one over here.
Yeah,
like
they don't have good facilities for hot tubs, for cold tubs, etc. They don't have any of that stuff. So
they got to put a quarter in the hot tub machine.
They do. They have to pay for it. That's how they get their income. It's like Moneyball. You have to pay for your own drinks for the vending machine. So that's how they're trying to make that Joe Burrow money. And it's not going to work. I don't think you're going to find that kind of cash because Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback, and he is going to
absolutely.
He's going to want a lot of money, and it should be guaranteed for a guy like him who's had so much success.
Can you imagine the inflation on what that guaranteed contract is going to look like?
That's what I love about the Browns beating everybody did the punch by giving it to Deshaun Watson. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people out there that are going to argue that Deshaun Watson should not have gotten that money. He hasn't had the success, et cetera, whatever. He's got his checkered past, as you will. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing all these comments. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, it's Grape checked in.
Grape checked in.
Dave
Lisa.
called-
Lisa said, "What about hot wings? Then a hot chip." That's not
what
a bad
I said. I
challenge.
said do a shot,
Okay.
a couple hot wings and go into the hot
We
chip.
could do that. Dave said, "Do not coat your stomach and take it like a man."
There's nothing with
Grape,
your
what's
mouth.
up, Grape? Good seeing you. Wish you were here. Obviously, I love seeing Grape.
I like how all the people who didn't take the chip got so much to say
That's
about
what I'm
the
saying.
That's
chip.
why I'm just like, what you guys do?
All the
Whatever
shit
you want,
talking
dude.
over here.
Dude, I was eating. What did I make the other day? I made breakfast for me and Tara.
You
And
put
I
hot sauce in the
Put a
breakfast.
little bit of hot
Oh,
sauce on
boy.
my potatoes.
You were done.
I was sweating. Like I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my god! Like it was like Frank's Red Hot.
Could you imagine just crunch up one of those chips and like coating the top
No.
here? No. Okay.
I looked at a bag of flaming hot Cheetos and started sweating. There's no way I could put anything on there. But I couldn't do it. So kudos to you guys for eating that hot chip stuff. There's no way. But anyway, what we were saying, Lamar Jackson,
Jackson.
he has requested a trade officially. The rumor is he did it months ago.
So did the Colts thing just come out today? Because that's the first I heard of it when you talked about it earlier.
Yeah, kind of. So there's just rumblings that it would make sense because everyone's trying to figure out a team that would be a good spot because you've had teams come out like the Atlanta Falcons came out and said they need a quarterback.
Sure.
Their quarterback situation is shit, but they came out and said we're not going after Lamar Jackson. The Carolina Panthers just traded for the number 1 overall pick. They're not going to use that pick on Lamar Jackson. So that's a team that's out. So if you look at the quarterback needy teams in the league, you kind of just have to break it all down and go who could use him and who's got the most ammo to get him. You've got a guy like, what's up? I do not have a white car. Who has a white car? Anybody with a white car that parked right by the entrance? Tara?
Oh, Tara.
Boo! Get her out of here.
Fire.
Headline reading.
Boo!
Man, who married that woman?
Perfect. I don't know. Yeah, that person needs to get his head examined.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Might want to file for divorce after this one.
But anyway, so the rumor came out today. Basically, you're trying to narrow down what teams need a quarterback, what teams have the ammo to get him, because
Right.
you have this Aaron Rodgers fiasco going on with the Jets. Is he going to get traded?
It's gonna happen draft day.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
So what do you think he goes for?
Oof.
Because I've seen mixed reviews.
I think. The common perception I would assume is a first round, right? And I
You
just
would
don't-
think.
I
And
don't
think
think
the
I
Jets
don't
have the 13th overall pick.
I
Right
don't
now.
think he's worth the 13. I mean, I love Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think he's worth the 13 at his age.
He is 2 years removed from back-to-back MVPs.
He's also 2 years of having shitty seasons.
He is 40 years old.
Very
He's
old.
going to the Jets, who are not a very good
A
team.
lot of ayahuasca in between there. A lot of dark days away, tucked away underneath a cave
Well,
somewhere, playing Batman. with
In his
somebody.
defense, he did the darkness challenge because that was preparing for life as a Jet. It's nothing but darkness and sadness. So he did a
Hello,
week retreat in the dark
darkness, my old friend.
to get used to the season that is in his future, more than likely.
I think multiple seconds or maybe multiple late round picks or second, third round pick, whatever. I just don't think it's worth the first. Maybe they send a player back with those picks. I just don't think they give up the 13th.
I mean, I could see that, but at the same time, the Packers kind of hold the leverage there because the Packers don't have to trade him. The Packers
Sure.
could try to sweet talk him to stay.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Sure, it sounds like all the writing is on the wall that he's gone. But if you're the Packers, are you really that confident in Jordan Love?
No, and all the preseason games I've seen Jordan Love play in late game situations,
He's played
not,
in regular season games
Oh, yeah,
and been
not-
terrible.
not very good. Not very good.
I've had games where, like, as a gambler, before it became legal in Ohio, hopefully the feds aren't listening right now. I know some offshore websites that I would use to gamble on sports, and I would gamble on the Packers a lot. And when Aaron Rodgers would get hurt, Jordan Love would come in and he would suck, and they would lose that game,
Yeah.
and I would lose money, and I would be very upset. So I have a little bit of a vendetta against Jordan Love personally.
You don't see.
I don't like losing money.
You don't see the Jordan Love, kind of like how Aaron Rodgers is going to follow in Favre's footsteps. You don't see Love following in Rodgers' footsteps and coming in and being this MVP.
Maybe in just doing the drugs part, I could see him doing drugs and getting himself out of the league, but I can't see him having success like Aaron Rodgers.
No matter what it is, though, I do think the moves made on draft day. I think the Jets package something up, whether it's the 13th, whether it's multiple picks and a player.
Because they're going to have to give up a lot. Because
Yes.
obviously they have the extra second round pick because of the Browns.
Yes.
The Browns made that trade with them for Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
So you've got or
Which
Elijah Moore. I'm sorry.
excited. I'm excited for that trade.
Yeah, it's a good trade. You've got a guy who was a second round pick out of Ole Miss.
Kind of a head case, but hopefully he
So
kinda
he
gets
so
under
that's
control.
the thing. He's not. So my buddies that are Jets fans, they tried to say the same thing. They're like, he's a locker room issue. He's a bad person. Blah blah blah. He was upset because he wasn't getting the ball. And when you break down the statistics, Zach Wilson was his quarterback. Zach Wilson sucks. He was not getting targets. The accuracy of the passes thrown to him were terrible. The percentage of catchable balls was like near the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he had, I think he was like top 10 in or not top 10, but he was top something. He was pretty high up there in terms of getting targets. So he got high targets, but not a lot of catches because the balls thrown to him were just inaccurate.
Yeah.
So a change of scenery could be good.
I mean, it's kind of nice coming into a situation where the offense is kind of set, and
You
you,
hope?
have
You
Deshaun,
hope?
well, I mean, I hope so. And you have Deshaun Watson throwing to you,
yeah.
You-
You basically
and
think
you're that deep guy. I mean, literally think about it. He's the deep
a
guy.
good
right
wide
now.
receiver is the product of a good quarterback. And I mean, it goes both ways. You need a good quarterback in order to have a receiver have success.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to be a great quarterback. Look at a guy like Justin Jefferson, great wide receiver, but he's got an average quarterback in Kirk Cousins, but he still puts up great yards because he's good. And all you need is average.
Great.
And
yards.
Deshaun
I mean,
Watson,
amazing yards.
right? Yeah, don't get me wrong.
That
I
dude,
don't
that dude
mean to
won me a
downplay. it.
fantasy football
I don't mean to
championship
downplay it,
last
but
year.
if Deshaun Watson can be 75% of what Kirk Cousins is, we're in
And
good
let's-
shape, and I think he
let's-
should be way better than
And,
that.
and let's be honest, not to slide into Browns talk, but that's the conversation right now. And I'm sure you tune in some local sports talk, the
Yeah.
AM and FM, and it's just a lot of, is Deshaun Watson going to get back to who he was in Houston? Is the offseason going to be beneficial to him?
Yeah.
Is he going to come into the season playing far better than what he did in the 6 games we had him last year? Was it truly just a rust he had to knock off? So a lot of questions. I mean, I would assume your confidence is pretty high with him now.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to be fine. You're going to have a full offseason with Stefanski. He's had some time with the offense. He's getting acquainted with everybody, acclimated with the team.
Yeah.
Missing that much time is hard. I mean, I'll speak on myself. We have Good Friday this weekend. I'm off work. I get a nice 3-day weekend. I am going to go to work on Monday and be useless from a 3-day weekend. This guy was out of the league for a year and a half, essentially.
It just takes 3 days.
That's it. 3 days. That's it.
Wait, Easter this week?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
You didn't know that Christ
I
rises
guess
on
I don't
Sunday?
know Jesus.
We need the ESPN sound to go off. Breaking news: Timbuktu just realized it's Easter. Somebody's gonna cut in. It's like Scott Van Pelt. He's like,
Jesus.
breaking news.
Jesus is gonna walk in right now and be like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
He gonna
No,
walk
he-
in like
No, he doesn't walk in
"Jesus!"
until Sunday.
He
Never
didn't.
mind.
He didn't wake up till the weekend.
That's right. My bad.
He had a long weekend, pun intended. But yeah, no. I mean, honestly, after if I have a long weekend, I go back to work Monday,
Yeah.
and I'm worth nothing.
Sure.
So, missing football for nearly two full years, trying to play it at the highest level.
Yeah.
Mid-season, getting thrown in without really a good time to adapt for everybody, because I know everybody out there thinks it's like Madden, where they think, okay, he's going to come in, it's going to be fine. No, you have to then change the entire offensive line scheme. You have to change the scheme of every position. These guys have played a certain way for 11 games. That's a hard thing to change.
Right.
Mid-season, that's very difficult.
Yeah,
Wait,
It's
so
just-
I just can't change my depth chart and it doesn't work?
You can on Madden,
You
absolutely.
can, absolutely you
It
can.
works great on there. I can teach all day.
It's just driving to work this week. I always listen to Ken and Anthony driving in, right?
Sure.
And I think twice I wanted to take a left off the Ferretti Bridge because it's just so much harping, and even Ken got involved in it this week, harping on the fact that they don't trust that they're going to get the Deshaun Watson that we paid for, and they're going to be the shitty Browns again next year. And it's like, even people were calling in saying, stop being so doom and gloom. It's not even the draft. We're not even past the draft yet, and we're talking about how bad the Browns are going to be.
I mean,
Give me a break.
I use the same thing that I've used for years. You know where I'm at with Baker Mayfield. Don't like him, not a fan. He
Oh,
was good. He was good.
I bought you a Tampa Bay jersey.
He was
Sorry.
good, not great. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
It's toilet paper.
Tampa Bay. But he was fine. He was good, not great. For a number one overall pick, you expect him to be like, look at Joe Burrow. That's a number one overall pick. That's what you want out of a quarterback. Baker was fine. No, it is what it is. He is who he is. But Kevin Stefanski got the absolute best out of Baker Mayfield. Kevin
Sure.
Stefanski got the absolute best out of Jacoby Brissett. I have to just assume he's going to get the best
I
out
hope,
of Deshaun
I hope
Watson, or
Jacoby.
close to.
I hope Jacoby wrote Kevin a nice thank you letter. Thank you for the great season that you.
I wish he would have
prepared for
stayed.
me.
I wish he would have stayed.
I
I was really bummed when he
Yeah,
signed
I mean,
with
I'm
Washington.
not hating on Dobbs, but I'm not as confident as Dobbs.
No, if God forbid something happens to Watson, if he gets
Yeah.
hurt, whatever, Josh Dobbs starting games, your season's done.
Yeah.
I think it's over. Jacoby Brissett, you can win games. Josh Dobbs, not so confident in that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so the rumor I saw today, as we were talking about Lamar Jackson, is potentially going to the Colts. Colts
Yep.
need a quarterback. Colts have the number 4 overall
that's
pick.
scary.
If you look at the Colts roster from top to
That's
bottom, it's not bad.
scary.
But that's the thing, though, is what all would the Ravens want in a trade? Would it just be draft picks? Do they want draft picks / players? You know, it could deplete
I mean,
the roster.
here's the thing. I just don't think Taylor has another down season. I think he's going to come back and have another good season this year. So him
No,
paired with Jackson, I would assume they would play off each other pretty well. And they've got good receivers. Pittman. You're not going to get rid of.
They have
some
a
of
very
those.
good team.
they'd be potentially another team we'd have to go through in
The AFC South isn't very good because
No.
you have the Titans, who are kind of a selling team that lost a lot of
Right.
talent in the offseason.
Yep.
There's rumors they're trying to trade Derrick Henry. They're trying to lose Ryan Tannehill. The Jaguars, are they a fluke team?
No,
Will
I
they be
think-
consistent?
honestly,
Will Trevor Lawrence
playoffs
continue to?
again.
I could see that absolutely, but the Texans are garbage, so it doesn't matter who they draft a quarterback. They're not going to be good. So
Fuck the Texans.
yeah, fuck them. You've got basically the Colts or the Jags could be the potential only two teams fighting for the division. So if they
Right.
get Lamar Jackson, that's huge for them.
Yeah.
That puts you right in the playoff mix. That puts
Absolutely.
you right in the
It's a
winning
very
division.
it's a very winnable division.
Absolutely, it is. So we'll see what happens with that. It's something to keep an eye on. Again, just a rumor. I just love the hate that the Browns get. So Lamar Jackson wants a big contract, and everybody just talks about the Browns. The Ravens are refusing to give him a guaranteed contract that looks similar to Deshaun Watson. So every story ties in the Browns. So the fact that we were able to screw the Ravens, potentially making their franchise quarterback want to get out of town,
Yep.
is a win for us. I love it.
Well,
I love
you know-
every second
you've
of it.
noticed every contract since Watson has been mostly guaranteed.
Yeah,
Every
players want
contract,
that.
every player is like guaranteed this, guaranteed this, guaranteed that. It's like set a new precedent for the
And
entire NFL.
the funny thing is if you really break down other teams' contracts, like look at, I don't know the exact numbers, but look at Patrick Mahomes. He signed a 10-year, like $600 million contract or something like that. It was huge.
signed away his kid too. I
$500
think.
million, and no one's batting an eye because he don't get me wrong, he won 2 MVPs. He's won
earned
2
that.
Super Bowls. He's earned it. He's very good, but nobody bats an eye at the contract. You look at Russell Wilson, signed a massive contract with the Broncos, not that far away from Deshaun Watson's. He sucked. Nobody's talking about it. They just want to blame the Browns.
I don't want to go in a deep hole with this, but do you think he turns it around this year with Peyton as coach?
It's now or never. He better. I mean, the only thing that he's got going against him is he's not getting any younger. He's not a spring chicken anymore. He's not.
He lost his office upstairs too, so
Yeah, they took his
it
office
might
away.
kill his morale.
They're not going to let him do his middle of the plane stretching that he used to do with everybody, which was super weird.
That's what I like to do when I fly in a plane. Just get out there and do some hammy stretches.
Just middle of the night, they're taking a red eye back from an away game, and you got Russell Wilson doing squats in the middle of the aisle. The rest of his teammates were like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, I mean, it's something he could get better. He
Yeah.
could. Sean Payton's the coach to do it. If it doesn't turn around with Sean Payton, you're not turning it around because their coach last year, Nathaniel Hackett, was terrible. And we joked that he should have been fired after the first month of the season.
Right.
And he somehow survived until 3/4 of the season. I don't understand how, but he survived. But again, I just love that every time you talk about Lamar Jackson and you talk
It
about
comes right back to the Browns.
you talk about his contract situation, he immediately reverts back to the Browns. I love that. It makes me happy. I hope we do the same thing to the Bengals. And I hope that when the Steelers actually find themselves a good quarterback because Kenny Pickett blows, that they are able to have the same issue because of Deshaun Watson. Speaking of the Browns, a little bit of news on them. I saw the media trying to really pump this story up
Oh
yesterday.
God, it was blown out of proportion.
You would have thought it was Amari Cooper. Michael Woods, a wide receiver who, if I'm being
And
honest,
everybody right now is saying who?
Yeah, most
correctly.
people-
Yes.
feel free to pull out Google. Michael Woods is a wide receiver for the Browns who, gun to my head, wasn't going to make the team anyway. He tore his Achilles working out with Deshaun Watson in Texas, was it?
Probably should have stretched and got a massage before working out.
Yeah, I don't
Just
think
a
that helps.
suggestion. Just a suggestion.
We're not allowed to have massages anymore that we
Oh,
signed
that's
Deshaun.
true.
That's
That's
part
true.
of his contract.
That's
so
that's probably why
why.
he tore his Achilles.
That's why.
because he didn't get rubbed down pretty well.
Last year, no Achilles
Yeah,
tears.
absolutely.
This year,
Weird how that happened.
Achilles. But yeah, Michael Woods tore his Achilles. An Achilles tear is at least 1 year. You're going to lose speed. His career's probably over, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but that's just the facts.
Yeah.
But that's something that it's going to happen. And again, it's a guy who probably wasn't going to make the team.
No, I think he was a sixth receiver at best, right? Sixth option, I think. I
Mhm.
mean, if you're counting Grant up there, then maybe seventh.
And
best
I would
option.
because Jakeem Grant's going to make the team over him because Jakeem Grant
right
has
special teams.
kick return, punt return abilities.
Right.
So
He was on the bubble as soon as we brought in Moore, and he was on the bubble for sure. So
yeah, because I saw
and I don't think the Browns
mean-
are done yet either. I think the Browns might draft somebody in the draft.
realistic,
as a wide
depending on what they
receiver.
do, Anthony Schwartz might have just earned his job.
Oh,
Think about that. Think about that.
Conspiracy.
But again, it's something you can't avoid. An
No.
injury happens.
It sucks.
The fact that it was breaking news all over every sports show yesterday was like, I said to think, I'm like, Michael Woods, is he even still on the roster?
Think about it. We need Browns news to
It's
just
slow.
salivate over. So that's news. And we just
I'm
blow it out of the water.
I'm kind of bummed as a draft fan that we don't have a pick until the fucking third round unless they trade up. This is 2 years in a row the Browns will not be drafting until the 3rd round.
We won't be there this year, so it's okay.
I'll still be watching.
Sure, but I mean, it's not going to affect you as much.
Yeah, so this year I'm not going to Kansas City because I have no interest in that city.
Broke the streak.
I am
is
going.
broken.
I'm going to Disney. I will be in Florida. What's up? Yeah, I don't like barbecue at all. I don't care about Kansas City. I'd go there and get mugged. I want nothing to do with that. My buddy has booked suites at the Disney Grand Villa Resort or some shit. I've never heard of it. I don't know. I don't go to Disney. And I just had to pay for my flight and food. So I'm going to go down to Disney and stay there for the weekend instead of going to the draft. Next year, though, I've already 100% dedicated myself to Detroit. I am taking the Marvins with me. And Josh, that's my friend Josh. He is from Detroit. So he knows all of our pain as Cleveland sports fans. He knows what we go through. He knows what it feels like. Except he's had the Tigers. He's had the Pistons. If you're like hockey, he's had the Red Wings. So it's not comparable.
Whatever.
The Lions, sure. But one bad team doesn't equate to everything Cleveland's gone through, Josh, unfortunately.
But at least Cleveland's not Detroit, though.
What's that?
Teams aren't bad.
No, they're not. But I just mean championship-wise. That's the heartbreak.
Yeah.
We've seen enough. But yeah, so he's from Detroit. So next year for the draft, I've already decided I'm going for sure. It's a quick drive. Should be a good time. But this year, not doing it. Going to go to Disney, see how that goes. I'll be the weird adult with no kid walking around Disney.
You're going to have a blast.
I think I will too, actually. They have alcohol. That's all I need.
You have to do the Epcot World of Beers.
Oh, that's already planned. He went all out. So not to brag, but my buddy is like a diehard Disney guy. He's been to every Disney on the planet. He has points. He's got his own like broker that deals with everything. He has already set us up with VIP passes. We're going to be getting like straight cut the line for everybody. We're doing the World of Beer tours. We're doing everything. I'm very excited.
You got VIP to Mickey?
Oh yeah, I'm going to get cut the line for everything.
Oh my God.
And the tickets were not cheap. I had to buy tickets to Disney the other day though, and that is no joke.
Jesus, how much are they?
For 2 tickets to have the hopper to go to any park I want was about $400.
Whew.
Yeah, but again, I got the room for free.
That's not even the money he's going to spend inside.
I got the room for free, so it is what it is. I'll take it.
Because those drinks are not cheap.
And yeah, the cost of everything inside of it.
And the prices.
Yeah, I've been donating plasma to make up money for it lately. Because you need extra income when you're going to Disney. On Saturday at the Piston Power Show, Kyle could not make it. He was having his April Fool's Day party that day, and Tim was with me. Tim was there.
I was there.
We talked a lot about wrestling. I
participated.
You did. I don't really watch wrestling that often, but it was
Wrestling.
WrestleMania, which is of course a big deal. Everybody knows about WrestleMania, even if you're a layman. If you have no idea about WWE, you've heard of WrestleMania at least. So we did a little talk about that because that was of course night 1 was Saturday night, night 2 was Sunday. Did you watch it?
I did. I didn't watch it that night. I watched both days on Sunday.
Kyle was asleep at about 10 o'clock on Saturday night at his party. He did not survive.
I had a couple cold beverages and I was done for.
He was not long for the night.
Out of here.
I left. Tim was down there playing NBA Jam in the basement.
What, did you play some NBA Jam?
Hell yeah, he
I
did.
played like 7 games.
He was
Hell yeah,
glued to
dude.
that thing when I was leaving.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
I had hella fun, man.
Good, man.
I was glad because I wasn't the only black guy there. There's a Rob.
Rob's like half black, half Puerto Rican.
I didn't really care. He just made a scene out about it.
He kept bringing it up every time. He just would be like, I'm not the only black guy here. He was so excited. I'm like, who cares?
I don't know if I feel like if you have to announce that you're the only black guy there, you're not really a black guy.
I agree with that completely. Because it just made everybody look and be like,
Tim, I'll
"Who
be
gives a
honest,
shit?"
by the time you got there, I didn't see color at all. So we're good.
Yeah.
Nobody sees color.
I seen green. I seen a lot of
That's all
green.
I saw green and my bed. That's pretty much it. So
And yeah, it was a good time. Jess went full Jack Torrance from The Shining. She broke the door down and said, "Here's Jesse." She stuck her head through and
Here's Jesse.
and she woke up Kyle, who fell asleep on
I'm
the toilet.
so glad that we're about a week later and we're finally putting the story together how the door got broke.
I wasn't down there, so I didn't see any of this.
What's the rule in our house? You break it, you repair it. So I'm going to buy the door and you have to fix it now. So
You break it, you bought it.
There you go. Well,
Well-
you break all the stuff in our house. Yeah, it's Bob the Builder.
I definitely broke in your toilet.
Except I make Tara pay for it too. So that's the difference in our trade. I tell her, if you want to build something, knock yourself out.
Here, I'm thinking the entire week that I fell into the door because that's very believable, and you just broke it down. So okay, good to know. Thanks, I love you. I would have died in the bathroom clearly.
So that's a new game for next year's St. Patrick's Day party. Who can break down the door faster than Jess? She set a record.
I'm just gonna put swinging doors in the bathroom, so that's not even an option anymore.
That's not a bad idea. Like a saloon.
Put like a urinal in there and just swing in, swing out.
Now we're talking.
But
urinal's
no,
not a bad
I
idea.
did watch both nights the next morning. So I watched day one, which I'll be honest, day one WrestleMania, amazing. Great matches, except the first one.
So-
Cena match was trash.
So that's the one where night one I didn't actually watch any of it.
Okay.
I saw highlights the next day and read up on it. But night two, I went in with very high expectations, and I agree with you.
was so let down.
I turned it off in the middle. I watched Succession because I like that show.
I have not
Succession
watched
is
it yet.
greater
Is
than.
season 3 pretty good.
I love that show.
Is the
Tara
last
won't watch it.
Is
It's
the
the
last
final
season so
season.
good so far?
So far, it's not bad. It's
Is
building.
it setting up for okay.
Doing a lot of building,
Good.
but I watched. I tried to show Tara a video that literally just recapped the first 3 seasons to kind of give somebody that's never
She
seen
didn't
it.
like it.
No, she's not interested.
It's a thinking show. It makes
but
you
they
really
break
get
it down.
into
They say it's Game of Thrones, but in the business world. And when I heard that, I was
Absolutely.
like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. But I love the show.
It took 2 episodes to get me into watching 2 episodes of the first season. I was locked. Like,
Okay.
After the dad faked the retirement and got right back into it, I'm like,
Spoiler alert.
Oh,
sorry, everybody.
guys.
Jesus.
Sorry, if you
This
haven't watched
guy
it yet, that's on you.
Can't take him anywhere.
That's-
You had to watch 2 episodes in succession.
Let him
I
know how
was
the
locked in.
let him know how the Titanic ends next. Just ruin it all for him.
They definitely did miss the iceberg.
But- Yeah, no, I really like Succession. I loved it. I thought season 3, the finale, especially the way that cliffhanger,
oh yeah,
because I didn't start watching it till after season 3, so I binged through all 3
his
seasons.
character, the
And
guy.
it ended, and I was like, I need more. I need it right now, and I had to wait a full calendar
Yeah.
year, which is terrible. I hate how they do this once a week bullshit. But
So how we get to Succession?
Succession is
because
a
you didn't
great
watch.
show.
You didn't watch. season two.
I took
You didn't
that
watch
over
night
Mania
two,
because
got
Mania
it.
just wasn't.
So the only good match in Mania night 2 was a Cody versus Roman, which I called the ending, which
You
I
did.
figured was going to happen. And now it's one of those things where that's the only good match that was there. The rest of the matches were throwaways. However, I will say the
Yes.
Intercontinental match, which I also said too,
That's one that I missed because
was
that
an
was
amazing.
during that
was
was during
an
Succession.
amazing match.
The only match I seen was the Cody Reigns and I thought
Which-
it was
That was a good match. That
it
was a really
fun
good
to
match.
watch. I'll say
No,
that
honestly,
match
The
was fun to
the
watch.
outcome sucked. So for those of you that don't watch wrestling, which is probably everybody here, Roman Reigns has been champion for like almost 1,000 days now.
964 days.
They have him holding both belts because they have Raw on Monday night and they have
They
SmackDown on
unified
Friday
him
night.
when he beat Brock Lesnar last
So
year.
he has been holding 2 belts, and he's been doing it for a full calendar year now. And it is a lot to watch. It's just the storylines aren't that great when you don't have a new champion
Yeah.
every.
Yeah.
There's no challenge every pay per view. I remember back in the day when I used to watch when I was a kid, it was every pay per view there'd be somebody would lose. Even on Monday Night Raw, you'd have the belt switch hands. That was exciting. That was fun. Now they don't do that anymore. So that's why I don't really watch wrestling.
Not to stay in wrestling too long, but I saw this thing today that basically Cody's following the same storyline as John Cena did about 5-6 years ago. He lost.
I wasn't watching then, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Cena lost on Mania.
Okay.
He comes out the next day. Brock Lesnar comes out, F5s him, starts
Okay.
a whole entire year of story with Brock Lesnar,
Mhm.
and then Cena wins the belt at the end of the next year at WrestleMania.
I don't want another year of Roman Reigns being holding 2 belts. It's
Well,
just
when
too
you
much.
have Vinnie Mac back there controlling things again, that's what happens.
Well, here's hoping the old man upstairs takes care of Vinnie Mac because
God,
he's
he
seen
cannot
better
die
days.
soon enough.
Did you watch the NCAA championships? Anybody?
I did.
I watched more of the women's
I'd say same
than
here.
I did the men's.
Same here.
If I'm
because
being honest.
that Caitlyn chick, woo,
Yeah, what's her name? Caitlin Clark.
Caitlyn Collins, Clark,
I think
Carter?
Caitlin Clark. I think
something.
Clark.
C, I don't know.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Caitlyn, that's all I know. She's gonna make about
She-
$10,000 in
she
the
plays at
WNBA. so
Iowa, yeah.
congratulations to her.
Yeah, she was being coveted as arguably the best. This was the funny thing. They had Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, all those guys from
Yeah.
TNT. They came out and said they think she is the best college basketball player of all time, not women's basketball
Really?
player of all time. That started a pretty hot debate between people.
I mean, she is. I mean, she's not only has a skill, but her but her cockiness that backs it up a little bit.
Yeah.
is amazing. Like-
Which leads me to
Oh yeah.
a quick discussion
Sure.
because this was a hot topic too. The Angel Reese taunting after the game.
Oh, the whole ring thing.
I personally, I think that's shitty. If you want to taunt during a game, so be it. I get it. Talk all the shit you want. When the game's over, your team just won a championship over the other team. There's nothing they can do about it. You don't need to follow the person around the court or field, wherever, and rub it in their face. You don't see that in sports.
Right.
Think of any other sport where that's happened. In Super Bowl, NBA Finals, etc. There's shit talking during the game. There's heated exchanges, but when that clock hits 0, that's it. Nobody follows the other person around taunting them.
well, first off, she dropped 30 something points on you, right? Okay, so you beat the team, you beat Iowa.
Yep.
She came out and still embarrassed your team. She still
Yeah.
dropped 30.
She
was
did
still
everything
hitting
she
3
could to win
points.
that game.
Right. She did. She's the reason why Iowa made a comeback in the fourth quarter.
Correct.
She almost single-handedly took your team down. So A and B, I didn't realize that LSU was so good friends with South Carolina and every other team that Iowa ran through that they have to go talk shit to her.
Yeah,
Right?
it's basically because it's like imagine you watch LeBron James lose in the finals, and
Right.
you are like with the Cavs, we lost
Sure.
3 years out of 4 against the Golden State Warriors. But imagine you are the Boston Celtics or the Toronto Raptors, and you lost to him. LeBron dominated your team, went to the finals, lost the finals, and then you come out of the woodwork going, that guy sucks. Let's
Yeah,
talk shit. Like
right.
you had nothing to do.
Right.
You couldn't stop him.
Right.
How do you then feel superior to everybody
I will
else?
give Caitlin credit. She came out the next day and said, "Look, I had no issue with that. You know, it is what it is. She talked her shit. She had her fun, whatever. I have no problem with that. If I'm not mistaken, Reese is like a freshman too. So
I think she's a sophomore and Caitlin Clark is a junior.
I hope
read
she
that.
backs it up next year.
No, 100%. And that was a crazy thing too. Is Angel Reese had a crazy game. I think at halftime she was shooting 100%.
Yeah.
She hit 5 for 5 of 3. She was like 8 of 8 field goal overall.
Right.
Like that's insane for any sport.
Good for
like,
you.
Men, women, whatever. To shoot 100% at halftime and put up a lot of shots. That's impressive. The game was never close. LSU had a pretty big lead for most of the game.
But,
Kind of a bummer.
I agree with you though. I wanted Iowa to finish the story.
I did too. I
right?
thought
That's
Caitlin
it.
Clark was a great story. I think she is a hell of a basketball player. She's a fun story. That's the thing you don't see, that women's basketball gets a lot of shit talked about it.
Sure.
Truthfully, people don't take it seriously. People make fun of the WNBA, etc. But I
Wow.
think that they're still talented. They're doing a really good job at what their sport is. Women can't dunk for the most part. We understand that. At least I do.
Well,
I don't
Brittany-
expect
Brittany
to see
Griner
it.
can dunk.
I said women can't dunk.
Oh, sorry.
But anyway,
I didn't see that one.
there
didn't
are,
I?
yeah, you did. There are a
Okay.
lot of people out there that just bash WNBA, but they're doing what they can, and I think that they're very
However,
talented.
can we
and
just talk about the ESPN meme they put out there? Not really a meme, but they were being serious.
I didn't see
And
it.
they came out and they're like, highest ticket sales ever, the highest price ticket ever for the championship game, $249.
Which, I mean, progress.
Compare.
Progress. It's progress. If that
Oh,
means
I'm
next
sorry.
year the tickets are $300,
Yeah.
can we blame Joe Biden and inflation? Sure.
Yeah.
But we can also say that it's getting more popular. So
Compared to what? Compared to the
can-
men's championship game where I think tickets were like what, $2,000?
you can pick and choose. If anybody
Yeah.
paid $2,000 to watch UConn San Diego State, they need to get an account.
Anybody have?
and they need to be
do
slapped
you know
in the
any-
face
do
for
you know
spending that
anybody
kind of
who
money.
Did anybody pick UConn to win?
UConn?
Did anybody have UConn?
Oh, in the
winning
beginning?
championship? Yeah.
No,
No?
not at all. I thought you meant just in.
Supposedly, what 2.some% of brackets had UConn winning the championship?
Okay, which I could see that. UConn was a pretty good team. There's a
Yeah.
guy that I follow who gets very analytical. That Cleveland TA guy.
Mm.
So he gets very analytical, and he had UConn as one of the top 5 teams in the league at some weird stat that he has that shows these are the teams that could potentially win the championship, and UConn was on that list.
Okay. Okay.
However, having a perfect bracket and expecting them to get there was
No.
absurd.
But
There
did
was
you-
no team ranked 1, 2, or 3 that made it to the Elite
No,
8, which
first
is the
time
first
in-
time ever.
Is it first time ever, or was it first time in a long time?
I thought first time ever. I could be wrong, but it was embarrassing. And poor Greg.
That's all right, Greg. We won't talk about
Yeah, it was the
Greg.
first time ever. Yeah. So my buddy Greg, he is a Purdue alumni, and he had high expectations for Purdue, as did I. I had them going to the Final Four in my bracket, and they, of
Yep.
course,
Hey,
were
Purdue-
a 1
hey,
seed.
Purdue's big guy won an award though.
Yeah, he won the Who Gives a Fuck award. They gave that to him the other night. Nobody cared.
He's married to throw something at us, so it's not.
Now Foose isn't here. We're allowed to
Oh,
talk about
okay,
him.
we're fine. We're
Greg,
fine.
Greg will be okay. I'm
no-
allowed to make fun of Greg, just not other people.
But no, so I honestly, I even texted another group that I'm in, the betting group that I'm in with some friends about. I watch more of the women's.
I did too.
final, I think the final 8 games because of Iowa than I did the final 8 of men's basketball.
Yeah, we were sitting there Sunday afternoon, and I didn't realize I married a sexist pig because Tara looks over at me and she goes, "Why are we watching this?" And I'm
Wow.
like, "Women's basketball? Don't you support this? How could you?" And she did not.
It
So
wasn't.
she was
it
not
wasn't
happy that I
golf,
had that
so
on the
she
TV.
wasn't really excited.
She doesn't even
to
watch that either. She's a poser.
Oh,
She's a pure
the
poser.
truth is out.
She just doesn't watch anything. If I put anything on the TV, she's on TikTok anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Priorities, man. Priorities.
Now we'll get to men's basketball. Not the national championship game because that's over and done with. UConn swept the floor with San Diego State. Who cares? Cavaliers have officially
Oh.
clinched the 4th seed. They will have home court advantage in the first round at least. And
Without a one LeBron James.
without a LeBron James, first time they've made the playoffs without LeBron James in a long time.
Yes.
They will officially take on the 5 seed New York Knickerbockers.
Home court advantage. I like it.
However, the Cavs have struggled against the Knicks this year, so it's going to be an interesting matchup.
I don't know, man. Donovan's like hitting the stride right now.
He is. He's had
like-
what,
he's, like,
4
warming up
consecutive
right now.
40-point games.
Yeah.
My issue with Donovan Mitchell, though, hear me out,
Oh boy.
and this is fair.
Okay.
When he was with the Utah Jazz and he played Jalen Brunson when Brunson was with the Dallas Mavericks, Jalen Brunson somehow shuts down Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell struggles when Jalen Brunson is playing him. Jalen Brunson just happens to be on the New York Knicks this year, who we are facing in the next round. So
You think that's in the back of his mind right now that he knows what
I hope it's more so motivation to where he's
Sure.
going to go out there and play better. But the Cavs just played the Knicks a few nights ago on Friday night last week, albeit regular season, albeit without Jared Allen. I think without Isaac Okoro. The Knicks were also without Julius Randle.
Yep.
Jalen Brunson put up 50 points, 48 points, I think, and the Knicks beat him. So the Cavs struggled. The Cavs had no answer for Jalen Brunson with Darius Garland, with Donovan Mitchell, with Lamar Stevens. You have all these guys that could be potentially playing defense on him, and he just had his way with this
Yeah.
offense or with the defense. So makes me a little nervous. But again, as I told you, because you texted me a
did.
little,
I
you were a
did.
little panicked.
I was slightly panicked. I
You
texted
were like,
and-
I'm not confident
Yeah.
against facing the Knicks right now.
and I wasn't. And maybe I'm still not because I'm not used to the Cavs being in the playoffs.
Sure,
It's been a while.
I had to talk you off a ledge.
I didn't
because
have my binky blanket of LeBron James to protect me, so I'm a little nervous.
If the way I look at it is if Jalen Brunson can score 40 plus points a
Sure.
night and beat the Cavaliers 4 straight times in a series best of 7, kudos to the Knicks.
Right.
They deserve to win that series.
Right. The only thing I have going for me is the fact that the Knicks just don't belong in the playoffs. Let's be honest. And B,
Yeah, they're a weird team. They're a very
think,
strange
and
team.
if I'm not mistaken, the Cavs still are number 1 or number 2 defense in the NBA right now.
I don't know off the top of my head, but they're up there. They're
I
one of-
just feel like I think
Evan Mobley should win Defensive Player of the Year
Yeah.
because he has played more games than Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr. has a lot of blocks. He plays very good defense, not knocking it. Evan Mobley, statistically, though, is a better defensive
Yeah.
player. So he should win Defensive Player of the Year. And if he's not, it is a highway robbery. But I expect nothing less from the NBA because they pick and choose who they give awards to household names. Last year, who should have been the Rookie of the Year? Evan Mobley.
Absolutely.
Who got it? Scotty Barnes.
Yep.
Who do you not even talk about anymore because he's not a
Scotty
relevant
Barnes.
player? Scotty Barnes. He's an okay guy. He's not great, but he got Rookie of the Year last year, even though Evan Mobley should have. Evan Mobley has come into his own. He's played fantastic basketball, especially as of late. He's only gotten better as the season progressed. His defense is top notch. He's going to be an all NBA defensive first team player. No question. Should be Defensive Player of the Year. Probably won't get it. They're going to give it to Jaren
I just
Jackson.
hope JB gets the Cavs in that mental state where they're ready to go out there and just destroy people. I think, even though I'm nervous, I think the next series is a winnable series.
Oh, sure.
I think we
sure.
take it in maybe we take the series.
I'm-
We're going to lose one game, I think, but I think we take
We'll
the
make our
series.
predictions. I don't know when the does anybody know the schedule? I would have to look it up.
Google anybody wins the Cavs.
I'll look it up.
playoffs
NBA
season.
playoff schedule. Let's just do a quick
You got
Google.
You got
But-
this little computer over here. We can look it up.
Got a little MacBook right
Little
here.
MacBook.
Little MacBook action.
But no, so I'm confident we can probably win this one. It's the second round of the playoffs that are going to give us.
oh, you know what I forgot?
Ooh.
The play-in tournament. The play-in games
so
have
it's
to
probably not
happen
going to be till
first.
next weekend then.
The NBA playoffs. The first round doesn't start until April 15th, which is next Saturday.
Oh shit!
So we've got over a week to wait
So that's a lot of rest. That could be
because the
good.
play-in tournament is the 11th through the 14th. Because I forgot they have to play multiple games. So we've got quite a ways to wait.
Who's
Um,
not to stick on this, but who's in the play-in games right now? Do we know?
It's not official. We can look.
But I mean,
Um,
potentially.
Let me take a look while we look that up. Gun to my head, I am going to say, give me the Cavaliers
Okay,
in 6.
6. What is it? First, is it 7 games?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The NBA went to best of 7 for every round because they want to maximize money.
Yeah, I think 6 is fair. Yeah, I think 6. I think they'll lose 2.
All right. So let's take a look at it. The playoff picture we've got. Okay. The Raptors and the Bulls are the play-in teams. I think they go. They do the top 10, make the playoffs, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now you've got.
Because the Cavs were in that position last year.
They lost to the Hawks and they lost to the Nets. Yeah, so right now you've got the Bucks at the 1 seed, Celtics 2, Sixers 3, Cavaliers 4, Knicks 5. Those are all locked in spots. Nets 6, Heat 7, Hawks 8, Raptors 9, Bulls 10. So
Yeah.
there's your play-in teams. I think those are all locked too, because the Pacers have 34 wins, Bulls have 38. There's not enough games to make that ground up. So those are locked in play-in teams.
Also, fun fact: first time the Cavs have won 50 games since LeBron too.
Yeah,
Pretty
a lot
cool.
of
Pretty
first
cool.
times this
I
year.
li-
I'm
I
very
like it.
happy
I like it.
that Donovan Mitchell trade was pretty nice, huh?
Hey,
The Western Conference, you've got the Denver Nuggets with the 1 seed, Grizzlies 2, Kings 3, Suns 4, Warriors 5,
holy
Clippers
shit!
6.
The Lakers made the playoffs.
Oh, dude, the Lakers are good as fuck since the trade deadline. The Lakers are a very, very surprising team. They actually play the Clippers tonight. The winner will be then taking over the
7
6th seed.
and 3 in the last 10.
Yeah, they're really good. The
Oh,
Pelicans
boy.
8 seed.
Are you excited? LeBron back? In
Oh,
the
I love
playoffs?
LeBron James. You guys know where I stand. So, in a perfect world, it's going to be Cavs Lakers in the finals, and then I'm going to be like, I really want the Cavs to win, but I
Are you
can't.
going to stitch together like a Mitchell LeBron jersey and wear half?
I'll just
and
wear my
half?
Cavs LeBron jersey. It's kind
Oh,
of
that
the
makes
it's best
sense.
of both worlds.
There you go.
It's one of those things where, like, obviously, I want the Cavs to win a championship, but if they don't, it's like, I'm still not that mad. Timberwolves 9, Thunder 10. So that's your
Interesting.
current standing. The Mavericks were officially eliminated from the playoffs the other day.
Well,
though.
they're not very happy with that trade, are they?
No, and there were rumors that they were going to shut down Luka.
3 and 7.
They were going to
last
shut down
10.
Luka, and they were going to shut down Kyrie because their season's over. I saw that earlier. Tim Hardaway Sr. came out and said that Luka's a crybaby and not a team leader. So there's already a lot of dysfunction.
Oh, drama.
Luka came out middle of the season this year and basically admitted that he's not having fun playing basketball anymore. He's not having a good time. So for a team that thinks they're going to lock up Luka long term in the Dallas Mavericks and have him forever and be a contender, he doesn't really want to be there right now. He's not happy. So Mark Cuban's got a lot of shit to worry about. And that trade for Kyrie Irving did not help anything. It was a half-year rental. He's as good as gone. I think Kyrie goes to the Lakers in the offseason, if I had to guess. And horrible move. Just a very bad decision by the Mavericks.
I love Luka though. I honestly, I crybaby or no crybaby, I do love Luka. Like I think I mentioned to you before. It gives all us chubby white dudes, the chance to go and like play basketball because how good he is.
No, he's great. I mean, I don't think he's a crybaby. I agree with him. You have this guy who's a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
He's an MVP candidate, and he does everything he can every night. He puts up 30 points like it's nothing.
He shoots
gets
threes
assists.
so nonchalantly.
He gets assists. He gets rebounds. He does everything nonchalantly. That's why I like watching him. He literally looks like he's playing at the YMCA.
He has like the
he
slow,
just doesn't care.
slow-mo turnaround shot. He
And
has.
nobody can stop
No.
it. And then he goes out there and the rest of the team sucks. They play no defense. They can't win games.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not making the playoffs again.
They're really
They made
kicking
this
themselves
huge
trading
trade
Brunson
for Kyrie
away.
Irving. Yeah, that's the other thing people say is, why didn't you just pay Jalen Brunson instead of trading for Kyrie Irving for a rental for a
Yeah.
half year? So just really bad team management by the Mavericks. I don't know who their GM is off the top of my head, but he should be gone. Mark Cuban should be rolling some heads. I think Jason Kidd should be fired, their head coach. He sucks.
Mhm.
I've watched a few Mavericks games this year, and he's made terrible decisions.
So is it a lock right now that we got Suns and Warriors round 1?
No, so the Warriors are 42 and 38, and the Clippers and Lakers are both 41 and
Yeah, but
38.
it's 4
So
versus 5, right?
yeah, but I mean, there's still some games left, so
Okay.
they could get jumped.
But I'm saying this could be a very interesting.
Oh, it could
series.
be. As of right now, 4 and 5 is going to be the Suns against
Suns,
the Warriors.
That would
I think
be,
the
that'd be
Suns.
fun.
The Suns. I think orange means they have a playoff lock, but it doesn't mean that they are locked in that position. I think blue means you're locked in that position.
I think the Kings must have brought back Stojakovic and Bibby to be back. In the
It's just
playoffs
they have
again.
Mike Brown, baby. They have the two-time Cavaliers head coach Mike Brown, ladies and gentlemen, who spits in that cup. It was disgusting to watch when he was here in Cleveland, but it's working out there in
Congratulations to the
Sacramento
Kings,
for
though.
him.
I
So,
actually hate Mike Brown.
do you really?
I do.
I didn't like that he went to the Warriors as an assistant. I thought that was kind of a bitch move, if I'm being honest.
I'm okay with the movement afterwards. I didn't like him here.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it didn't go well for us, but it was fun to have him.
Yeah.
I respect that he went to the Kings, who have been terrible for the last couple decades, give or take, and he took them to the playoffs. So kudos to him for that, at least.
I mean, kudos for that. He's a winning coach. I'm not
Exactly.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I just think he sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not a great guy.
It's a hot take.
They
I
made the
like that.
playoffs. The Kings have a shitload of holes. They're not a well-rounded team, so I think they're going to get found out pretty early in the playoffs. The cream rises to the top in the playoffs, and I think the Kings are going to learn that the hard way.
With Mike Brown, I think he's an easy coach to figure out.
Exactly.
That's why I don't think he can go far enough.
He's a
by
defensive-minded coach coaching a team that doesn't play defense, so other
Yeah,
teams are going to
right.
exploit that pretty easily. All right, so since we started a little late, we went a little late. We're going to wrap things up here, and of course, everybody's favorite segment out there. It is time for Just the Tip, and we're going to start with my man Timbuktu there in the corner. Tim, I got a weird feeling this is going to be a comedy show. Could be wrong.
What's your favorite statement? I'm always right.
I'm always right.
Yeah. And you happen to be right today. I can't take it
No, I
away
take that
from
back.
you.
I usually say I'm usually right.
usually right,
right
that's
most
Oh,
of the
give
time.
yourself some air. Okay.
Right. It's gonna be a comedy show. Actually, doing comedy Monday. Up at the, it's in Pinecrest. I keep forgetting. the name of
Saucy
the place.
Brewworks?
Saucy Brewworks. Yes.
No shit.
No shit. And Mondays are buy one get one
Dude,
pizza
I
night.
love
They are,
Saucy
yes.
Brewworks.
I heard you talking about this last night. I love Saucy. I've been there a bunch. Tara and I have gone there. Their pizza is really good.
So good.
That's a really good spot.
Wow.
dude.
It's
I'm
better
looking
when
forward
about
to the
4
pizza.
beers deep, but it's pretty
really
good.
good.
I'm definitely looking forward to the pizzas. I'm looking forward to doing some comedy. I did some comedy last night actually. I did a couple jokes and a couple new jokes. They were pretty good.
Hey, you gotta try some shit out,
Yeah.
man.
So I'm gonna try to extend them.
So that's this coming Monday.
This coming Monday the 10th. Yep.
Try to get there.
My
Please,
birthday.
please come do.
What time?
Is it really?
Oh yeah, that's right.
40th.
Kyle's turning 50 on Monday.
Hey.
40.
Oh, 40. Sorry,
40.
jumped a little bit.
So I'm gonna do some birthday jokes maybe if you come up and I'll
What time is it again? I'm
40 's a
sorry.
joke.
it starts at 7.
7.
Okay.
Yes, and the person that's put it on, I think she still works off CP time, but I think her CP time's a little earlier.
Okay.
So
Is it a showcase or is it an open mic?
It's a show. It's a show.
Okay.
Regular showcase. But after the regular show, they're having open mics.
Okay, nice.
They say it says show up, go up.
Okay.
So I actually want to do comedy, do a regular set, and then I want
And then do the
an
open
open
mic.
mic,
Hell yeah,
yeah.
why not? Practice some shit.
right. So we'll see how it goes.
That's at
and
7:30.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock Monday night. Saucy Brewworks. I'm gonna try to get there. Tara,
I don't think anything going on Monday night.
Monday night we're going to Saucy Brewworks.
For me, I'm
You
doing
coming
comedy.
too? That's true. Con lives down the street. So
Dope.
Monday night, 7 o'clock, Saucy Brewwork. There's a comedy show,
sounds pretty
half off
good. I
pizza.
love
Tim's
Saucy.
performing. We're gonna go check him out.
Yes.
So we will be there. So if you guys have nothing going on, obviously you elderly people in the back, we don't expect you to be there. I understand completely. And I was talking to Jess. But yeah, we'll do that 100%. That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, Saucy Brewworks Monday night, 7 o'clock. Check out Timbuktu. I'll be there.
Yes.
Well, that sold me. You're gonna.
Kyle's
be
there. That's his birthday.
It's your birthday. You
I'll
gotta
be
come.
there. I gotta get some.
No,
drinks.
their pizza is so good. Tara and I
Oh,
have gone up
so
there
good.
before on a random Monday just because it's pizza night. Like
I
it's
just
that
go.
good.
I love
How
going up
big
there.
is the pizza? It's a nice
I
size.
mean, they're like 10
Uh,
inch pizzas. I think.
I would say you could probably eat a whole one yourself easily.
I'll probably eat
Like,
both
I
by
could.
myself.
Yeah, and buy one get one. And they
Fold
just
it
have-
over. It's a calzone.
It's
dude.
not
You're
like a
fine.
normal pizza.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
they have like specialty ones.
Yeah.
With, like they'll have some heat on there, a little honey, like some nice shit. They have good toppings.
Okay,
It's a good
okay.
place. And if you like beer, they have really good beer.
Well, it's a brewery, so they better.
Exactly.
So I usually like
They're
going
kind of
up there.
known for it.
I like getting the samples. You get a little sample, like 5
Yeah,
or
I
6
do. I do a flight.
flight of beers and try some stuff and eat the pizza afterwards. All right, my tip. Yeah, it's Masters Week. That's my tip. Watch some golf this weekend. We got Tiger
Oh, thank you.
Woods. We got the Live players coming together against PGA players. It's gonna be interesting. And it's just a tradition like none other. Just watch the Masters. It's gonna be fun. I know Justin's gonna watch it. He's gonna record it. Go back and rewatch it a couple times.
I would rather stare at paint drying than watch the Masters, if I'm being honest.
But that's my tip. That's all I got.
Okay. My tip for this week is a movie that Tara and I just watched last night. It is a fun one.
One Night in Paris.
If you enjoy super cheesy, bad CGI, bad graphics, all that stuff, but a cool story, a fun story, Cocaine Bear. Watch the movie Cocaine Bear. Tara and I watched that last night. I really liked it. It is like a straight to the Sci-Fi Channel type of movie. The bear looked so fake. The kills were outrageous. There was a ridiculous amount of blood used in this movie. People getting their limbs ripped off. It was just a fun time.
How much cocaine did the bear do?
A ridiculous amount. Like it looked like me in my prime. It did so much cocaine.
Like kilos after
Uh,
kilos.
yeah.
Nice.
It was like Scarface. It was ridiculous. But it was so bad looking and so cheesy, but it was so good. It's got Torment from Game of Thrones was
Yeah.
in it. It has a really good cast. Kerry Russell, Ice Cube's son, the guy from The Wire that said she, I forgot his name, and he's in it. A really good cast. Just a fun movie. Very outrageous, over the top, stupid, but just fun. So check it out. It was an hour and a half. You got nothing
watch
better
it.
to do. So check out Cocaine Bear. That's my tip of the week. And
That's it.
that's it. Without further ado,
Thanks for joining us.
on behalf of everybody here at Talking About Balls, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate
We will
it.
talk to you guys again next week. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. See you later.